My dear students of class 3, today I am here again to take your English class. Today I shall explain you a short yet significant poem written by Christina Rossetti. The name of the poem is A Lesson. So please get ready with your book and open at page 117, that is Unit 18. But before explaining the poem, I'd like to tell you something about Christina Rossetti. On December 5th, 1830, Christina Rossetti, in full Christina Georgina Rossetti, was born in London, one of the 4 children of Italian parents. Her father was the poet Gabriel Rossetti. Her brother also became a poet and a painter. Rossetti's first poem was written in 1842 and printed in her grandfather's private press. Rossetti's childhood was exceptionally happy. Her parents were affectionate and caring, and she also got creative companionship of her older siblings. Rossetti was a great lover of nature. She is one of the most important of English women poets, both in range and quality. She excelled in works of fantasy, in poems for children, and in religious poetry. Goblin Market and Remember remain famous. I'd like to recite the beautiful lines from Remember. Remember me when I am gone away, gone far away into the silent land, when you can no more hold me by the hand. Yes, she could write such beautiful lines. Her poetry is increasingly being recognized as the most beautiful and innovative. Poetry helps you to understand the significance of words themselves. Like any great writing, poetry can open up your mind to new ideas. Poetry is so important because it helps us understand and appreciate the world around us. Poetry teaches us how to live. Poets often hope to have an emotional impact on readers and to write using language that will be remembered. Poetry, is smart and inspiring. Poetry can affect all. A good piece of poetry makes us cry, makes us laugh, makes us think. It can also convey a message. Through the poem A Lesson, Christina Rossetti also conveys a strong message. It makes us think. So children, let's go through this short yet beautiful poem, A Lesson, written by the famous poet Christina Rossetti. The title or the name of the poem is A Lesson. Now, the title might be the most important word choice of all because it's the first thing the reader sees. So it shapes the way the reader understands the poem. The title of a poem is a big clue. Now, what is a clue? A clue is a piece of information that helps you solve a problem or answer a question. It tells you what the author wants you to be thinking about as you start reading. Now, let's come to the point. What does lesson mean? A lesson is a period of time when you learn or teach something. A lesson is also a useful piece of information learned through experience. A lesson is something that is intended to be or should be learned. Here, in this poem, lesson means something we should learn. Now, let's see what lesson does the poetess want to teach us. What should we learn? To know all these things, we will have to go through this simple yet beautiful poem. Heart no living thing, ladybird, nor butterfly, nor moth with dusty wing, nor cricket chirping cheerily, nor grasshopper so light of lip, nor dancing gnat, nor beetle fast, nor harmless worms that creep, heart no living thing. I repeat, heart no living thing, ladybird, nor butterfly, nor moth with dusty wing, nor cricket chirping cheerily, nor grasshopper so light of lip, nor dancing gnat, nor beetle fast, nor harmless worms that creep, heart no living thing. Children, you know, to understand a poem you must read it again and again. Then only the meaning will be clear to you. This poem is specially meant for children, encouraging them not to harm small creatures like ladybird, butterfly, moth, cricket, beetle, or grasshopper. See, all these are very tiny creatures, but that doesn't mean that being stronger and more powerful than these creatures, we will harm them. So the poet writes, heart no living thing, ladybird nor butterfly, nor moth with dusty wing, nor cricket chirping cheerily. Heart means cause pain or injury. And living things, you know, you have learned the differences between living and non-living things in science, isn't it? Yes. Human being, plants, bacteria, insects, animals, trees are living things. Living things are made up of a cell or cells. They obtain and use energy to survive. Like plants take energy from sun and water, animals from food. A living thing has a unique ability to reproduce. Like plants shed seeds, animals have babies. A living thing has ability to grow, ability to move, ability to respond to stimuli, ability to metabolize, ability to adapt to the to the environment, and last but not the least, an ability to breathe. All living things are sensitive, so need to be treated carefully. Living things can also feel emotions like anger, fear, and happiness. After growing and living for a certain time, living things ultimately die. On the other hand, chair, table, phone, computer, almirah, rocks, bucket, water are non-living things. They cannot grow, move, breathe, and reproduce. They do not have any kind of life in them. Ladybird is a small beetle with a domed back. Butterfly, a beautiful insect with a long thin body and 4 brightly colored wings. Around the world, people view the butterfly as representing endurance, change, hope, and life. Moth is also an insect with a hairy body and large wings that usually flies at night. Some moths eat cloth and leave small holes in your clothes. Cricket is also a small leaping insect noted for the chirping sound made by the males rubbing part of the wing together. So the poet requests us not to harm any living being unnecessarily. Every living being has its own course of life. She writes more. Nor grasshopper so light of lip, nor dancing gnat, nor beetle fast, nor harmless worms that creep, hurt no living thing. Grasshopper is a long, slender insect. It can leap, means jump or move quickly. Gnat is a type of very small fly that bites. Gnat is a type of very small fly that bites. A beetle is an insect, often large, shiny, and black with a hard case on its back, covering its wings. A beetle is an insect, often large, shiny, and black with a hard case on its back, covering its wings. There are many different types of beetles. Worm is a small animal with a long thin body and no eyes, bones or legs. Worm is a small animal with a long thin body and no eyes, bones or legs. So, the poet wants us to respect all living creatures, no matter how small they are. We are bigger in size, stronger in power, but it doesn't mean that we shall hurt small creatures. We believe that God has created everything and everyone in this world, so we have no right to harm other creatures. Instead, as human beings, we should take care of them. We should protect them. Then only we would be able to live in a beautiful world. They are part of the creation, so we can't destroy them. Live and let live. This is the lesson that the poet wants to convey. Everyone should read Christina Rossetti poems. They are known for their simplicity. Hope you have understood the inner meaning of the poem. The message that the poet wants to impart is written clearly in the poem. Heart no living thing. Heart no living thing. We must remember that we should not hurt any creature, big or small. We must remember that we should not hurt any creature, big or small. Instead, we should take care of them, protect them. They have equal right to live in this beautiful world. So please learn the poem and the spellings that I am going to underline. So please underline the spellings. First line, heart, living thing. Heart, living thing. Next line, ladybird, butterfly. Ladybird, butterfly. Next, moth, dusty wing. Moth, dusty wing. Next, cricket, chirping cheerily. Cricket, chirping cheerily. Cheerily means happily. Next, grasshopper, leap. Grasshopper, leap. Then, dancing, gnat, beetle, fast. Dancing, gnat, beetle, fast. Next line, harmless, worms, creep. Harmless worms, creep. Creep. Now word meanings. Cheerily, happily or in a lively manner. Happily or in a lively manner. Leap, jump. Leap, jump. Creep. Move with the body on the ground. Move with the body on the ground. These word meanings are from your book. I'd like to give you some more word meanings. Like heart. Heart. Cause pain or injury. Cause pain or injury. Dusty. Covered with dust. Covered with dust. Chirping. Chirping, to make a short, sharp, high-pitched sound. To make a short, sharp, high-pitched sound. Harmless, safe. Harmless, safe. Now let's discuss questions and answers from the poem A Lesson. Answer the following questions. Answer the following questions. Question number 1. Who wrote the poem A Lesson? Who wrote the poem A Lesson? What will be the answer? Christina Rossetti wrote the poem A Lesson. Christina Rossetti wrote the poem A Lesson. Question number 2. Name the insects mentioned in the poem A Lesson. Name the insects mentioned in the poem A Lesson. It's an easy one. You will have to mention just the names of the insects. Insects mentioned in the poem. Ladybird, butterfly, moth, cricket, grasshopper, gnat, beetle, worms. I repeat, ladybird, butterfly, moth, cricket, grasshopper, gnat, beetle and worms. Question number 3. What message did the poet convey through the poem a lesson? What message did the poet convey through the poem a lesson? The poet conveyed the message that we should not harm any living thing unnecessarily. The poet conveyed the message that we should not harm any living thing unnecessarily. Question 4. There are two rhyming words in a line. There are two rhyming words in one line. Write out the line. Yes, the line is heart no living thing. Heart no living thing. That's all from the poem A Lesson. Please learn the poem, word meanings, spellings, and questions and answers. Take care. Thank you.